14 pages!
I don't think Ethan is a very good person, and he's using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life.
I've had dumps that have been more traumatic than that moment in your life, just to be clear, so shut the fuck up.
Why were you playing the game? I have never been this mad at a person the entirety of my life!
I apologize, I'm still a little new at the game.
If you don't even know how to win the game, why are you playing?
That's the most angry you've been in your entire life? Seems my theory is correct that he has no life.
Board games always look so enjoyable, but I had no friends to play them with. And the friends that I did have made it even worse. But they would play board games and not invite me.
I wonder why.
Why must I suffer so with no one caring for so long?
I'm surprised this guy's not red pill. He has the actual victim complex of every single red pill content creator.
You guys may think I'm super famous and popular, but there's not a heap of people who want to play with me. As a matter of fact, I once more asked a Discord full of other streamers if they wanted to play with me, and I got no responses. Again, I think this may be the third or fourth time I've tried.
Have you ever thought maybe it's your fault? You ever thought that maybe you're just insufferable and difficult to be around, and maybe you need to change some of the ways that you act? No, of course not. The whole entire world is the problem, not him. All right, guys, new angle. What do you think? Just to be clear, my butt has been in a lot of pain. Okay, that is the most difficult part of my job right now, is how much my butt hurts sitting down all day. So I've gone through multiple chairs this year. I've been losing weight too. Weird. Anyway, I'm currently sitting in like this is like the podcast chair for the Rob and Dan podcast. Check it out. It's above right now. Go subscribe. Subscribe to that too. Anyway, I'm curious about it. We're finally here. I've been waiting for this for a while, honestly. The DarkViperAU versus Willie Mac drama. Quick recap, DarkViperAU, he's this little guy in the back here. He's just kind of annoying. I don't know what else to say. That's the recap. This guy right here, this Willie Mac guy, he's the best. That's it. That's the entire drama. You don't even have to turn the video off. That's it. You know what you need. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we do, thanks for 21 months small gut from KD. Papa Goon is the goodest of girls. Happy Hanukkah. Thank you, brother. Anyway, Willie Mac video, the dark truth behind DarkViperAU, the reality of React content analyzed. Beep boop.
To wrangle some lolcows. Recently, we've been having to wrangle some lolcows, first with Hassan's response, and now it's DarkViper's turn. Back in April, I made a video giving my opinion on reaction content.
This is honestly, I'm so excited for this. I'm so much more interested in this than Hassan. It's always been Hassan. It's like, oh, how much Hassan can we do, dude? You know?
Viper striking Chud's critical reaction of him, and his crippling victim complex whenever someone mildly disagrees.
Damn, DarkViperAU and Chud Logic are like opposite sides of the same coin. They're both some kind of Australian or non-good white, you know what I mean? The good white American, okay? Okay. Oh.
These are inconveniences him.
Why must my life suffer? Why must I suffer so with no one caring for so long?
DarkViper has since released...
Just to be clear, DarkViper is a very successful content creator talking about how much his life is suffering. So that's not out of touch at all, actually.
2 videos, over 5 hours of content, repeating the same points that I've already covered, calling me a liar when I slightly misspeak.
It's unfortunate because like we couldn't react to DarkViperAU's like criticism of Willie Mac because he copyright strikes it, and we could have like a robust conversation about what should and shouldn't be considered fair use. But the reality is that like there's a difference between conversational reactions where you react to somebody trying to have a conversation and like you have a conversation with a video, which is what I do, and entertainment reactions where you're just kind of watching something for the fun of it and going, well, with very little reaction. Just in general, the law aside, which I think you could probably has a decent support of what I do, there's a good culture that centralizes around this type of content. People like this type of content. It's like, it's not even a watch party. It's like it's a conversation. It's conversational pieces. A lot of communities, especially like the social political communities, have been doing this for a long time. They have no issue with each other doing it. That's the whole point, is the conversation. I think there's benefit for the reactor and the reactee for it. If you come onto this video and you like Papa Gut, you're going to watch. If you don't like me, you're just going to go watch the core video. I think at the very least it's neutral for the person being reacted to, but realistically speaking, I think that it's probably beneficial. It's like a whole, like an ecosystem. And I personally like it. Thank you for the $5 from Jack Esposito. Merry Christmas. Just got back from ABQ, from a Navy funeral in Farmington. Now off to Gold Pride to celebrate my homegirl Sam's birthday. Cheers. God bless, brother. You're a busy man. Busier than me. Merry Christmas.
Viper said Ethan, meaning him saying 14 pages has traumatized him.
Yes, it traumatized him.
14 pages!
Because one of my favorite people on the internet, DarkViper, 14 pages!
I don't think Ethan is a very good person, and his using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life for many, many years on his stream, perhaps 100 times, is a bit more than excessive. And
wow, traumatic? That's pathetic. Your life is easy if you think that's dramatic. You know what people keep doing to me? August just made an out of context video. Look at that right above. You could follow that link above, where it actually recounts some of the actual most worst moments of my career and most cringe moments. They're not traumatic. They just make me cringe and cry. So that's your trauma moment, dude. Your life is fucking easy. Thank you for the 11-month small gut from generic user 1029. What I asked Santa for? To ride on my lap, get a little bit of, maybe make an OF video. A lot of people would like that bear video. Just to be clear, my life is not hard or traumatic. I don't think I have any trauma except for when that guy broke into my house when I was 12. But outside of that, pretty good.
And very sick.
Why was this traumatic for you? You're angry over nothing.
That is not at all what I said. You can note here that Willy's claim is that H3H3 spamming this clip for years was traumatic for me. But then he showed a clip where I specifically didn't say that. I called
what?
My interactions with Charlie years ago traumatic.
I said Ethan traumatized him when it was actually Charlie who did. My bad. He says he would sue me if he thought he wouldn't get bad press for it.
I could sue these guys for defamation. Could spend all the money to no way make back the money that I would spend so much of my time that I normally spend on making content and get a ruling that would certainly be in my favor because they lied. Like so many times did they.
I don't think he's confident that he would get a ruling in his favor because if not, he would just do it. And then that would be like a landmark case that could set the precedent for people who make content like me to not be able to even work anymore. So when he says this, oh, well, my time is better served doing XYZ. I would look bad doing XYZ. If you were confident that you'd get through this, you would be hailed some kind of a hero. But I'm pretty sure you know that like it wouldn't really amount to very much. And I think you know that you wouldn't win. So
they obviously lie.
Because the person that this guy, like for the type of person he is, you know that he would love to have that attention. He would love to have that attention where like he just, oh my God, he changed the entire YouTube landscape of reaction content. You're telling me that he wouldn't, if he thought he had like a 90% chance that he would win, he would totally do it.
But I'm gonna look bad the entire time.
I followed him on Blue Sky after seeing this, and he frames me as a stalker.
It's not that he follows friends, family, content he enjoys. He's like, oh, I can stalk that DarkViperAU guy, that guy who blocked me. This is insane behavior. This is psychotic. This is not
psychotic, insane behavior. You don't think that's a little disproportionate? He followed you on a social media platform because you were a content creator. Like you're worried about bad press because if you sued, but you're not worried about how pathetic you look right now.
Normal.
I followed your branded social media and you're acting like I showed up to your house. He probably thinks I'm assaulting him just for watching his video.
Next thing you know, he's gonna come outside of his door with pepper spray spraying you, saying that he feels under threat.
This video is about friendships.
There was this one question he asked where he asked about like who I talk about. He asked who I talk to about this. Who do I bounce ideas off? And I said to him, like I don't talk to anyone really. And I'm a bit of a loner. I just assume.
Yeah, there's a reason he's asking you that, and like part of me feels like I've had this impact because this is something I ask and I constantly talk about over and over again. Is who do you have in your real life to talk to this about? And the reason I'm taking a little credit for it because I know Willie Mac watches my content. I watch all of his content. He's a great content creator. And so maybe it's not me, maybe I'm fooling myself, whatever. But that's the thing I talk about all the time because I love my wife to a point of cringe. And all I talk about is like how much I talk to my wife about my content and how much of a better content creator it's made me to talk to her and how it grounds me in reality. And so over and over again, who do you talk to? Who grounds you in reality? Who does this? Who does that? That's a constant conversation that I have with almost every single video. That's a real thing. If you're sitting online all day and you have nobody to ground you into the real world, you think what's happening online is serious, and it's not. The real world is more serious. You are terminally online. That's what it means to be terminally online. Get offline, go for a nice walk, feel the chilly winter breeze on your face, enjoy your life, listen to birds chirping, talk to somebody in the real world, develop outside relationships that you see each other and can touch each other and feel each other in a more meaningful way, and stop sitting online all day and obsessing about these things because it's unproductive. And the reason people make fun of you is because you react to it like a fucking baby. So stop it.
That everyone will eventually like work against my interests unless there's an explicit reason for them not to. I've just never really had anyone in my life that I can trust a lot. The closest thing I have now is my mods. Like if I'm going to talk to anyone about anything, it is my mods.
How can you have no one you trust? If there's literally nobody that you trust, there probably is something wrong with you.
That is absolutely very true.
Rather than everyone else. You might be kind of a schizo person. I mean, this is just very sad to listen to.
It's why it's important to treat your friends well.
Uh-oh, what's the ad, dude?
Getting them a fume.
Okay.
Ah, that's the good stuff. 2025 is right around the corner. It is the perfect time to start building better habits. Fume is smokeless, vapeless, and non-addictive. It is just flavored air, the perfect gift for somebody trying to break their...
You know what else is flavored air? Sniffing your wife's queefs. Okay. Actually cut that one. Cut that one out. That one was too much. I have to remember to cut that. That's not good. It's not a good one.
Bad habit. I use it all the time. You've
It's really not that bad though.
probably seen it in the background of some of my videos. I like to use it to prevent me from snacking throughout the workday. It is the best adult fidget toy. It's crafted from wood.
You know what I do to prevent myself from snacking throughout the day? I just eat whole meals. Entire meals. I overconsume food. Stops your snacking.
It has this great weight and this really satisfying stand. It comes in a whole variety of flavors, so there's something for everyone. My favorite is crisp mint, so whenever I'm itching to reach for my bad habit, instead I just play with the fume, get a little stimulant of flavor, and I'm right back to work. So whether you're getting it as a gift for a loved one or for yourself, Fume won't disappoint. So for this holiday season, give the gift of better habits by going to tryfume.com/WillyMac and use code WillyMac or scan the QR code to get a free topper when you sign up for the Journey Pack today. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this video.
Whisper in my ear that you want some more and I jizz in my pants.
Dark Viper is passionate about React content. He's made the same video now 9 times. He's mad that I partially cited his essay because
Same. I mean, like, what's all every Papa God video is the same. Let's be real.
that was just a draft script.
He seems blissfully unaware that I finished that draft and made it into a video. He has not seen all these videos.
I've watched all of his
The draft. You mean the 14 pages?
videos on this subject. His arguments largely remain the same. Not to mention this document was his magnum opus at the time.
Yeah, his biggest argument is that reacting to somebody's content is effectively sexually assaulting them. So that's not disproportionate at all.
It's literally where the 14 pages meme comes from.
14 pages! 14 pages, 14 pages, painstaking detail!
He points to his other work that he wants me to watch, acting like it had all this tangible data.
First video is, why am I here? What am I trying to prove? The second is the main bulk of my work, arguing for the foundations in which I build my arguments, making those arguments. I use a lot of data, I use some animations, and so this ended up being like my main thesis, if you will.
It's just not true. It's the same thing where he claims that people reacting to your videos are exploiting you.
Reactors are playing a game with our online creator ecosystem where everyone loses except the reactors themselves.
I don't think that's true at all. I don't know. I feel like Willie Mack has done really well with his content, and part of the thing he does is he is very positive about people who react to his content, and he's been doing better and better. It's a constant exposure to new audiences. Like, he makes great content. Most of the time, like, I don't usually react to something until like a day or so later, and then I don't post it until like a day after that. It's usually how I make my content. So, like, his first few days, the video's up. A lot of times my followers have already watched his content. They're like, oh, this is a great video. You should watch it. And then people, as you're watching it now, are probably like, oh, I'm tired of this motherfucker and fat piece of shit talking. I'm going to turn it off right now and go finish watching the video, which is always in the description under sources. So I just don't think it's bad for the reactor or the reactee. I think it's good for both of them. Obviously good for the reactor. Neutral to, I'd say at least neutral, but probably positive. For every view that you don't get because you watch my video is another view of somebody looking at my video and going and deciding to watch the other person's video, or becoming a fan of the other person because they like that person's content. And if we have like very different audiences, they were like, if I was watching a Dark Viper video, reacting to it, none of my audience has crossover with Dark Viper. They don't like people who are whinging fucking losers. So they would just be like, oh, this is just new eyes to you. And maybe they'll watch and be like, you know what? I like this guy. Or maybe they'll just bully you. I don't know.
This video is that React content is a system of exploitation that siphons an incalculable amount of money and exposure away from the hardworking into the pockets of the incredibly lazy.
Most content
I will say I am very lazy, but we're both online video game creators, so let's be real. Well, you're a video game creator. Like, we're all lazy. We're doing online content.
on this website is lazy. Viper struck Chud because Chud reacted to a 9-minute video clip from Viper's live stream. Chud's reaction was a 35-minute video clip from his live stream. Both of you produced equally lazy content. He tries to show that React content is harmful by pulling up a creator named Josh's total view graph, and he applies the dips to Asmin reacting to him.
The first 4
Oh, Josh Strife Hayes. Josh Strife Hayes is a good content creator. That's probably why he's more popular than me, because I'm not a good content creator.
reactions seem to have done nothing at all, often preceding dips in viewership. In fact, the period where Josh's channel saw the greatest growth compared to the prior month was in May, and it had no reactions until the end of the month. These late reactions actually occurred prior to a downturn in the channel, and these in the middle did nothing to change its course. This therefore makes it hard to attribute Josh's July success to the reactions, considering that they occur just as much on bad days as they do good.
All you can really interpret is that Asmin's reactions don't lead to a boost in viewership. But then he immediately states that this means Josh is losing views because of Asmin, when there is so many potential variables in this graph he ignored.
While it is hard to
Yeah, like, just what's the topic of conversation throughout the year? Josh also like has fewer and fewer things to talk about because he's done a lot of it. So I mean, I don't know. I very highly doubt it's because Asmin reacted to a video. That was it.
to know for certain, comparing the day before and the day of a reaction, I'd estimate each reaction gained Josh less than 500 subscribers each. Especially while remembering that Josh is losing views and impressions to
That might be true. I don't know how much of like a new viewership you're necessarily going to get. I mean, it really depends. If you're a bigger content creator reacting to a small creator, you're probably going to get a lot of impressions. But if you're already a big content creator, I wouldn't necessarily it makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily get like a big boost in viewership. Sure.
To Asmongold's business model during this process, you can see that this is not very much.
Now, other creators have made similar assumptions when they post a video that underperformed. The Ackman and Internet Anarchist are both creators that have complained about reaction content negatively affecting their videos. But as we all know, correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation, and that's my problem with this whole dialogue. It's all based on vibes and people's personal opinions, so I wanted to change that. Since my last DarkViper video, I linked up with a data analyst named Glisset. We then had the Ackman and Internet Anarchist send us videos that both were and weren't reacted to. Glisset then divided the views per day by the maximum views per day to normalize each data set, and modeled each day as a normal distribution. The final result for Internet Anarchist is this.
So you see the black line there? That's the sort of the average view count of a reacted video. It's dimensionless view count, which effectively means that I've divided it by the maximum view count, which basically just makes each video more comparable to each other. Otherwise, you'd have all different lines going all about the place.
The shaded areas are the standard deviations. If the line is in the dark gray area, that is one standard deviation. The light gray is two. The line being within either means there isn't a statistical enough difference in views to say that React content is affecting the work. But if it leaves the shaded areas, that means it's statistically significant. A trend is being formed.
For Internet Anarchist, there's, I think, most significantly...
I'm watching this like I completely understand what the fuck's happening. I don't know if I do.
Or, I suppose uniquely about Internet Anarchist sort of situation is that there are regions where that pink line leaves the shaded area. I call that very loosely statistically significant.
When it leaves the shaded area, does that mean the video is doing better, or is it doing worse? What's the
So if it was above the line, then it would be doing significantly better. But because it's below the line, the unreacted video is doing significantly worse than a reacted video.
And just to be clear, that doesn't mean that it's not doing as well because it wasn't reacted to. It might just be something that's not interesting. And there's also another factor that you're more likely to react to a video that's more interesting. So his better viewed videos have a higher likeliness of people reacting to them. Whether people are like, oh, that video is doing really well, let me react to it. Or if they're like, well, this is interesting, let me react to it. And it turns out a lot of people like that video. There are so many variables, you'll never really know. I imagine a video not getting reacted to is probably not interesting to those people. It doesn't mean it's a bad video. People have interesting videos, people have uninteresting videos. But there's so many different aspects here. Like, who really knows? I do. Reaction content's the best. And if it's not, well, I guess I'll be doing something different.
When it comes to the Ackman, we get different results.
You can see in Ackman's case, sort of from this one here, it's a much sort of steeper curve than the case of Internet Anarchist, which makes this sort of analysis a little bit more difficult because noise is a little bit more prevalent, I'd say, when you're dealing with such sort of small numbers towards the end there. But if we sort of zoom in a bit, you can see that pink line always stays within the shaded region.
Yep.
Because it always stays within the shaded region, it's always within 2 standard deviations. And when it stays within that dark grey sort of shaded region, which it does most of the time, that's within 1 standard deviation. And I'd say that that's perfectly normal. And based on that, there isn't really an impact of the reaction on the video. Yeah, I'd say sort of if you are to see an impact, it tends to be either in the short term, so say 10 to 30 days, or the medium term, so 30 to about 150 days.
So the conclusion is that there is no measurable impact for Ackman, while Internet Anarchist does seem to benefit at times.
I'd say this at least speaks to, because a lot of this has been done on sort of commentary creators, I think this at least gives a decent idea of how this works in the commentary space.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be fairly confident in saying that for the average commentary creator, the being reacted to doesn't really make a difference in your video performance. The only
that makes sense.
Statistically significant finding we were sort of able to find in this case was Internet Anarchist, and I'd limit that to saying that only in Internet Anarchist case could there be the compelling case that there is a significant benefit to being reacted to.
Now, is it like this for every creator and every reaction video on YouTube? No, these are 2 creators' data. It's a relatively small sample size, and the genre of video as well as the quality of reaction may affect the videos differently.
Yeah. Oh, I guess shout out to Asmongold for that one, huh?
There's a ton of variables.
It's so funny because he fucking hated people reacting to his videos when we were talking to him.
Well, it is, and that's the power of an intuitive model. If it's no good sort of saying, oh, that makes sense, therefore it must be true. You really do have to sort of, I guess.
I mean, I think it just kind of boils down to the creator. If you don't want your content reacted to, I think just say like, yeah, I don't want it reacted to. I think it's probably going to be a net loss for you, generally speaking. But hey, what the fuck do I know? It's your content. You do you. I mean, a lot of people like are really like kind of like it's a YouTube culture of reaction. YouTube's obviously very okay with it because they're making money, so they don't have an opinion either way. They probably would prefer it because they're making money off of it. You know, outside of that, I think it's healthy for the YouTube infrastructure to have these type of like video conversations. If you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Just be like, hey guys, don't react to my stuff. Like DarkViper basically said that, so I don't react to him. I think it has a negative impact on him in general because the reality is that you're only going to get content about DarkViper through other creators. Willie Mac is chill with you reacting to his content. I'm going to react to Willie Mac talking about DarkViper. I trust Willie Mac. I think he's very intelligent, and I think that he's very honest, so I trust his interpretations of things. But you want to know what? We're never going to get it from the source, from DarkViper, because he's not okay with React content, and that's like the decision that he's made. And that's just going to be how it is when it comes to these conversational reactions.
R/do the math. I'd say do this on a case-by-case basis. I mean, this is sort of standard procedure in sort of copyright. Always analyze things case by case. Conclusions here in the commentary space, probably not going to affect your video. But I would be interested in seeing sort of how this varies sort of space by space, and maybe seeing some data from some, gaming channels like Speedrunning or
like what Viper does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, again, like conversational reactions probably getting a boost. Other type of reactions, probably not. I don't know.
Because obviously I'd expect the dynamics to be slightly different because you're watching the videos for slightly different reasons.
So my point is, before
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching a speedrunning video, your content's probably, you're gonna have less to say. Like sometimes I watch people, like it's very normal for people to do reactions in like a lot of different spaces. Like you'll see like Hungry Box do reactions. It's mostly just watching people play video games, but it's like, okay, cool, like that's fine. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a problem. Like whatever. Since people have critical commentary, usually it's a little bit more, no note against or negative. But then again, a lot of it's like videos. People don't care about streams. You could stream an entire person's video. Most of the time people are like, oh, it's just a stream. It's different. Even though YouTube streams are becoming much more like videos, So a lot of it's just like perception of different things.
we start a crusade against an entire genre of creators saying they're exploiting people, let's actually take some time and analyze some data.
Looking at the bigger picture here, this drama's been going on for 4 years. And it still every now and then resurfaces. Eventually this is going to have to be sort of put to bed sort of thing, because I don't think it's going on for 4 years.
I think it already kind of has been put to bed. I think that most people don't necessarily care anymore. React content's becoming more and more normalized. I think people should just do it. Like, just start doing it. Like DarkViper, just do your own React channel. Like, who cares? It typically is generally kind of easy money. Go for it,
Yeah, it's not necessarily a productive use of everyone's time, especially when the big conclusion here, I think, is that it doesn't matter and it doesn't make a difference. Reaction videos don't look like they have.
That's the thing, though. DarkViper's like perspective is like, okay, well, even if it's neutral or even positive for the person being reacted to, it's beneficial for the reactor. And then what about all the other content creators that make really interesting content, but somebody's reacting to someone else's content, so they get pushed out of the algorithm? And all I have to say is, if people would rather watch me give my commentary on something than your actual content, then maybe your content sucks. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, I don't. It's probably like rude to say, but sorry.
Have any sort of impact on video's performance, and therefore, I'm not really sure why people care quite so much.
Bro, you've been covering this topic for 3 years. How is this the first data analysis that's been done? He acts like this is a case closed argument for him. I bring up my own personal experience with React content, and he compares it to playing slot machines. My personal experience, because that's all we can go off of.
What do you mean that's all we can go off of? This man is literally all we have is personal anecdotes.
Well, yeah, that's all there was to go off of. What do you have?
There's a reason why we judge systems in their totality, not simply like people's interactions with them, but thinking about the process by which they do things. A person can walk up to you and say, hey, I want $1,000 on a slot machine. You can look that person dead in the eye and say, that's great, but slot machines are a terrible way to make money. And they go, but Frank over there won 10 grand. Yes, that's amazing, but still a terrible way to make money.
Slot machines are statistically rigged by design. That's a fact. You have no facts. You
True.
have no data suggesting that.
See, what a great reaction. Haha, true. Got him.
React content is the same way. I was going to make a video whether DarkViper responded to me or not because I want this dialogue to be productive. Let's go get a data analyst, talk to Glisset, see how they mapped it, and compare Josh's reacted to his unreacted to videos. So
his name is Josh? Wow, what a name. Okay.
we can build a data set.
He does put in quite a lot of effort in terms of trying to assign numbers to these things. I just think when he's tried to assign numbers, they haven't necessarily.
Do you think he thinks his screen makes him more convincing? Yeah, dude, listen, I don't mean to be rude, but DarkViper really, DarkViper kind of seems like the kind of young man who grew up without a dad, or maybe they were divorced, and him and his mom are like really, like his mom was really supportive and probably too enabling of him, and now he sits alone online playing video games because his mom never told him to get offline. He has no real life friends or real life relationships really outside of his mom. And he's just kind of used to whining and crying to get shit. And he's just kind of a fucking baby. And I think that that's what people think of him. And the reality is that even if DarkViper does have a good point, nobody will listen to him because they don't respect him, because he's fucking annoying and he cries constantly and he has a victim complex. He thinks that he has trauma from people clipping him. It's pathetic. So sorry, but It's kind of the reality, man.
They don't really mean anything. So he goes on, for instance, total view count. Well, total view count is entirely dependent on how old the video is. It doesn't necessarily tell you anything about how a React video has actually impacted the video. And then we sort of saw slightly more sophisticated techniques when we went to sort of Nakrit's sort of analysis. To be fair to Nakrit, I mean, it slightly worked in the cases that he analyzed, but when you sort of broaden that theory, it starts to break down.
Well, here's the cool part, though. You've explained how you've done it.
Damn, your mic is like so crisp, really. What the fuck?
You said that
Getting kind of horny. What the hell?
it really isn't that complicated if people want to get into it. It's a high school level thing. So if DarkViper wants to, he could go collect data. I got a ton of creators that would love to participate. If he wants to do the same thing, he could test it himself.
Certainly. So, I mean, sort of the more stuff we analyze, the better picture we actually have of this. Previously, before, people just looking at graphs and going on vibes. That's not rigorous. That's overlooks some pretty basic maths.
But DarkViper's problem with React content isn't that it necessarily hurts the original video, it's that it takes away viewers from all content, completely unrelated videos.
Again, to be clear, the lion's share of what I talk about has nothing to do with the impact of the re-upload on the original. And what time I spend on it is largely because other people care about it. We have YouTube, with the best algorithm that's ever been made for distributing content ever. And there are
See, I agree with you on that, man. Good. We have one agreement. We have one thing we agree with. How do you like that?
no reactors currently in this hypothetical world. So viewers go to YouTube, and the smartest algorithm that has ever existed tries to direct them to content that they want to watch and will watch long term. 100% exposure on the platform is going to creators. I ask you, how much of this exposure should we take away and give to reactors to grow them an audience?
You realize that like people like reaction content, right? Like it's a type of content. And I would argue that people like reaction content a lot. People who don't give a fuck about whatever you're whinging about like reaction content a lot on different platforms, and they seek it out. There are some people who are like, you know, there's this topic going on. I'd really like to know what this person thinks about this particular topic. Things are shifting into a direction where people want smaller creators who have genuine perspectives that are similar to theirs. They want their own creator. And so there's going to be a lot more Papa Guts out there, just hopefully not as diabetic, because that's unhealthy. Because people just like, oh, I like this small creator. They're my comfort creator. I like Papa Gut because he's kind of he speaks it real, but he also talks about dumb bullshit fucking drama nobody cares about. But he doesn't talk about it in a way where he goes all doomsday on it, where it's that big of a deal. We're just having fun and we're just shitting around while we play fucking video games. You're sitting at work. You know, you're probably like, I have a lot of older people in my audience that are like my age, maybe a little older. They're like, I just like engaging in stupid bullshit drama. It's fun. But it's not that serious. So people watch me for that. People are going to watch DarkViperAU if they jerk off to thinking the thoughts of their mom or something. I don't fucking know. So people like those type of content creators. They're more interested in like a lot of content that they could sit down and settle with and like have a conversation with, or just like listen to and, you know, engage with, than, you know, very meaningfully made content. Not everybody wants very meaningfully made high effort content, because a lot of people also don't always want to like fully engage. Some people just kind of want to chill. Like a lot of people are probably sitting there working and you're not like fully paying attention. So like really high effort, meaningful content that you have to watch and engage with and pay attention to, it's not the number one thing on your list. Like you want something that you can sit on your phone and you can like kind of listen to, like, oh, that's good. Or do your homework and go like, oh, okay, cool. Or play a video game, but or at work, or right? You're not sitting here trying to watch fucking Grey's Anatomy.
100%, so that they can then act as a middleman for that exposure to creators. The click-through rate from YouTube itself to a video is like 5%. A click-through rate from a reactor to the original video is like 0.5%, and confers no watch time. And it has all the other added costs that people have to spend time watching the reaction video itself, limiting the amount of content they can even watch from creators.
I get you, but you're discounting that the viewers count the reactor as a real creator. Hassan's viewers don't want to watch me. They want to watch Hassan respond to me. They want Tom's or Nick's or H3's or Asmin's opinion. If they edited the
You son of a bitch. You didn't even mention me, dude. Oh, I love you.
reactions down, I'm not convinced it would have any measurable impact on the creator economy like Viper implies. Maybe it would, but without running tests or getting data, you're just...
I mean, like, but this is still a creator economy. What we're doing right now is a creator economy. There is still something happening in this version of the world that people like and resonate with. What happens if, you know, you're not allowed to make this content anymore, and then people disappear from this app because they're like, oh, I really like this type of content. Like, I can't engage with it anymore, so I'm just going to leave YouTube. And we'll just go somewhere else where I can engage with it. What happens if that was to happen?
Throwing out theories.
Each of these YouTubers and Asmongold are attempting to attract to themselves viewers from the same general finite markets. Who is more likely to end up with the most at the end of the week? Do you think individual YouTubers would benefit more or less if Asmongold wasn't a reactor? Not just the people he steals videos from, but everyone else in the market, as his goal is not just to steal viewers away from those he reacts to, but everyone in general, as he can just as easily steal someone away from any of us as he can the people he reacts to.
And to that I
mean, Asmongold's just a fucking moron. It's like a populist moron idiot. Like, that just says things people want to hear with like no actual like meaningful opinions or a spine. So, but let him react, you know.
Don't care. If your video gets beat out by a React creator and your video isn't the one being reacted to, womp womp. I can't believe I have this opinion. Don't care.
Again, his argument. I don't care. That's it. And newsflash, in every single situation where a negative externality has been caused, impacting someone outside the original exchange, there is always going to be people who don't care. In fact, with every harm that has ever happened in the history of mankind, someone hasn't cared.
But you don't even know if they...
Yeah. Sometimes, why care? We don't have to care about everything. Just because you is important to you doesn't mean it's important to everybody else. Who cares?
were harmed.
It doesn't matter. Your indifference to harm doesn't make it less impactful. Or
It's not harmful. Like you're labeling it harm. All right, you know what's harmful? These titties. I still think I look kind of skinny in this angle. A little skinnier. Don't correct me if I'm wrong.
potentially less meaningful to other people.
Bro, it's me giving my opinion. We don't have the data to discuss this further in a productive way, so I don't care.
You're driving a forklift as you're listening, dude. I used to be forklift certified. Unironically, how do you like that?
I am agreeing to disagree with you, something you should learn how to do too. He frames me as the evil man, exploiting other creators for personal gain.
At the end of the day, what Willie wants is to people have no rights over their work. No.
I like how Willie Mack is not a reactor, and he's trying to make this take that like Willie Mack wants people to exploit content or whatever dumb fucking thing you say.
No rights, no permission, no compensation. You work for free for Willie Mac show, that's it.
Okay.
It's a garbage perspective.
But I don't even make that kind of React content. In Viper's world, I am the ultimate victim, constantly getting exploited. My videos compete with Chud's, Nick's, and Tom's reactions all the time. I have the most to gain from reaction content being banned, but since I demand evidence of harm, that makes me evil for some reason. Apparently I'm the
Well, just to be clear, the fact that you imply or you say that you have the most to gain by banning this type of content insinuates that you actually think it's harmful, which is okay if you think that. I would just say that, you know what I mean? Or maybe he just spoke wrong, or maybe he was just speaking from Dark Viper's perspective. I don't know. But, you know, again, I don't think you have necessarily anything to gain from banning React content, but just throwing it out there.
Uncle Tom of React content. We pretty much maxed out the conversation when it comes to React content, so I want to turn our attention to the eternal victim that is Dark Viper.
The Uncle Willie. I had an Uncle Willie. His name wasn't Willie, but he used it on me, so...
Like, wow! I'm a troubled soul. I'm living in a studio flat that's covered in mold.
There are times where he says I'm taking him out of context, and then he plays a longer version of the same clip, and it has the same exact context. All React content makes you a bad person, not that it's necessarily illegal.
You are taking that guy's 500 hours of labor in order to take all these impressions, and therefore viewers, from every other content creator. If you were to disappear, everyone would be better off. However,
whoa, Dark Viper, relax, bud.
All original content creators have just as much right to be in this space as anyone else. Ooh. Reactors don't. I'm pretty sure that's cropped off.
The creator saw my reaction to it and was really disappointed. They didn't appreciate it, and I totally understood where they're coming from because I didn't really add anything to it. I didn't really react to it, so to them it felt like I was just re-uploading their content on my stream.
Because that's what you're doing. Even when you pause and speak, the amount of effort you're putting in is a tiny fraction.
Effort doesn't matter, but it's part of the equation, just to be clear. The amount of effort you put in is completely irrelevant. There are people who don't do reactions who still make very low effort content. Like a lot of podcasts are very low effort content. Effort doesn't matter. That's not part of the equation. You can cry about it if you want, but that's not part of the equation. The aspect of like, oh, well, you're using somebody else's content and you react to the entire thing, that's a fine perspective to have. But when you have a conversation about effort, it's meaningless because effort doesn't matter. It just does not matter. That's not part of the factor. It's just this is an easier job, a harder job. If you can make money doing a podcast where you do very little work and you work for an hour and then like that's your entire day and then you just have to upload it and like let it rip or do clips from it, that's fine. If you decide to do like a very in-depth dive into something, that's more effort, but it doesn't matter. Different people resonate with different content. So
Action of what the original content creator put in place. Person spends 500 hours making a YouTube video, you spend 15 minutes watching it, and you believe you deserve to profit off that $500 worth of labor?
You're saying it took him 500 hours to make a 15-minute video? I gotta be honest with you, that sounds like a fucking moron made that. That's insane.
As a multi-millionaire, you don't believe you owe that guy one single fucking dollar?
Dollar?
On what basis? Without his labor, you'd have to turn off your stream because you'd have nothing else to watch.
True.
You'd have less uploads on your channel. Those people who aren't on your stream would go to other content creators. The people who can no longer watch your react.
Or maybe they would just change their content strategy and just produce other types of content. I don't know.
Content would watch other content creators, wherever they would be found.
Like if I didn't do react content, maybe I would do like a podcast or something. Or I don't know. Or I'd like watch videos and I would just talk about them on a podcast setting. Something like that. Okay.
Taking that guy's 500 hours of labor in order to take all these impressions and therefore viewers from every other content creator. If you were to disappear, everyone would be better off. And that is the case actually.
He's so fucking mad.
For any content creator. There'd be less competition in the marketplace. If all content creators disappeared except me, you can better believe my viewership would go up. However, all original content creators have
you think you like deserve that or
just as much right to be in this space as anyone else. Reactors don't.
Wouldn't they have more, right?
Reactors do is sit and steal from the original content creators. They siphon exposure via impressions to themselves, keep people on their channels instead of other people's, and they flick a few every once in a while to someone else. So that section also is deceptively edited.
No, it wasn't. That's the same thing. I'm arguing with Autismo. I ask again, what
Hey, don't be so mean to autistic people.
context was changed? Viper is constantly calling me a liar. His examples are pointing out when I misspeak.
14 pages!
14 pages! He's using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life. It's 14 pages!
The traumatic and angry moments of my life is just such... What a stupid fucking thing to say. How out of touch do you have to be to say something like that?
So here you can see an example where Willie will just play something and then directly lie about what was just said. While he is taking these clips out of context, not explaining why they exist or what the point of them was.
Well, yeah, you know what? This is like the guy that was, you know that fucking meme where somebody's standing in the corner and like everybody's having a party and like the guy in the corner is like, you know, I bet they don't know about this. He's like, I can't wait for them to ask me about React content or something like that. Like that's all he does. I think this is all he thinks about. This guy probably goes to Christmas parties and tries to talk about work to people and they're just like, what are you talking about? Yeah, this guy Willie Mack and his Nasmond Gold, and I was like, nobody knows who these fucking people are. But you're talking about React content. Meanwhile, you probably have the most money in your whole family because you know what do you fucking do? You play Grand Theft Auto. I honestly like I thought people that like Grand Theft Auto are like cool people. I don't even know why people like Dark Viper. He's fucking so cringe. I don't understand. I don't really get it. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, what's the draw to this guy outside of the whinging about React content? The real question.
Even in that clip, I said, one of the most traumatic moments of my life. He's using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life. He says, most traumatic moment of his life, which is not what I said. He's arguing.
Bro, let me tell you something, Dark Viper. I've had dumps that have been more traumatic than that moment in your life, just to be clear. So shut the fuck up. And I'm not even kidding, okay? I have Ozempic shits. And sometimes it's just, I had to straddle a fat turd for an hour the other day, rocking back and forth and squeezing my butthole to cut it up into smaller pieces, like it was going through a fucking meat slicer. Like I asked for a pound of bologna in slices. Okay, that's more traumatic than you going 14 pages. Shut up, dude.
Arguing with the text on the screen. He says I'm lying because Ethan didn't traumatize him. Charlie did.
That is not at all what I said. You can note here that Willie's claim is that H3H3 spamming this clip for years was traumatic for me. But then he showed a clip where I specifically didn't say that. I called my interactions with Charlie years ago traumatic, and they were.
Don't admit that, bro. The point is that this shouldn't traumatize you. I point out his history of spurting out over nothing, and he brings up dates. Like, yeah, Matt, the dates are why people are calling you cringe.
One of the hallmarks of Willie's video, and that showcases him as a grifter, is he uses out of context clips that have no relevance to anything all throughout the video. Spamming them, as I say.
I mean, there's only like one thing for Dark Viper says, and it's just constantly crying about React content and likening it to rape. I mean, what can you take out of context there? That's what he does all the time. He's a fucking one-trick pony.
It doesn't matter how old the clip is, Willie knows that if he doesn't say what date it is, people will just assume it happened very recently. This clip, for example, is 4 years old, but he is even more dishonest than that. He uses clips far older, 6, 7 years old in this.
I mean, have you changed your perspective?
video.
The point is to show that throughout your career, you turn small disagreements and inconveniences into massive crash-out moments for yourself. You have a pattern of behavior. Ethan plays a meme soundbite on his podcast, and he's a sick individual.
14 pages! As someone who has been incessantly harassed by him for years in front of thousands, he is one of—
You're a sick fuck for showing that.
Those truly deserving of being driven off the internet. I don't know.
Not for nothing. Oh, I just died. Not for nothing. If it was a truly traumatic moment, if that was a truly traumatic moment, he wouldn't keep talking about it over and over again. If he was actually traumatized by the 14 pages meme, he wouldn't constantly talk about it over and over again because he would be so traumatized that he wouldn't be able to function in this conversation. He has no trauma from this. He is a rich little white boy. Sorry, not that that really matters. Right? Because white people don't matter. He's just some rich little fucking annoying kid that if the internet didn't exist would probably be working like a McDonald's or something. Not to be rude, but I don't really see what other fucking thing this guy could do. That cries on all fucking day on the internet and has no actual like history of real traumatic events. So he thinks that this is trauma. That's Dark Viper. That's all he is. He's fucking pathetic.
How sick of an individual you have to be to do something like this? Like, if he was using it in some wholesome way or like, shouting me out in some positive way, fine. But he's
if he was being nice to me, that'd be fine. But since he's not being nice to me, it's not fine. Oh, wow. Great commentary. Love it.
Just using it to mock me.
Good. Rydog trolls a speedrunning forum and Matt is suffering.
Why must my life suffer? Why must I suffer so with no one caring for so long?
Fuck.
This man has gone out of his way.
I'm surprised this guy's not fucking red pill. He has the actual victim complex of every single red pill content creator. It's embarrassing.
To insult me at every turn to make my life worse. I have not felt depression like I have experienced because of Rydog since I was a teenager. The thought of living in this world where a single—
What happened when you were a teenager? Did a girl say that she didn't want to touch your pee-pee or didn't want to kiss you, and so that sent you into a spiral? How fucking weak are you?
single man can cause me so much suffering, and people defend his right to do it. I just don't want to live in this world anymore.
What did he do? He lied.
What is wrong with you? You're like a fucking whinging child. I don't want to be here anymore.
To the moderators, and he removed his own speedruns, shut down a category, and doesn't turn on his FPS limit. What a bad guy. Matt's like, but this guy pulled a coup. It was a reasonable response.
That's all he said.
This clip is so old, it's entirely possible that someone lied to Willie, and Willie just repeated that lie because he just doesn't care what's true. Maybe he himself isn't lying. He might just be ignorant in this specific case.
I think that something that DarkViper has to understand is that this is not a nuanced topic. The topic of conversation about React content can be nuanced, but like you are not nuanced. You're fucking complaining and crying. You're being a fucking annoying baby.
The person he's speaking about—
You're like somebody who complains about tip culture or something. You know what I mean? And you're like, maybe you're right in some ways, but like you're just so fucking annoying about it. Just shut the fuck up.
Is Rydog, who was so disruptive as a non-speedrunner of GTA 5 at the time that we made an entire Discord specifically—
Is he a speedrunner now?
So we can have motivation tools to deal with him. He was literally the first person ever banned in that Discord, and he has stayed banned for 7 years. The man quite literally pulled a coup and got every motivator—
I hope you have a great Christmas too, brother.
—removed from the speedrun.com leaderboards. Do you know how many coups there have been in the history of speedrunning?
There's been 2 coups because unfortunately the voice actor of a coup died. Did you guys know that? Isn't that so sad? I think it was Uncle Iroh's voice actor too. Isn't that so fucking sad? Terrible.
Probably not many.
Bro, that's hilarious. He can't even admit one time that he's overreacting. A speedrunner named Friendly Baron slicks Matt over the rules, and Matt is losing sleep over it. He made a 3-part video series because a speedrunner named Friendly Baron shit-talked how he ran the forum.
Frankly, I'm afraid I'll come off as petty at this point, but I literally can't fucking sleep.
What?
I need more closure.
I'm DarkViper. I'm 5 seconds behind. After 4 minutes, I'm gonna reset.
Where the fuck's the chopper?
What a silly criticism. How funny is that?
Dead. Gonna reset. Like DarkViper.
This is keeping you up?
But I keep getting sent these clips, man. He keeps being an asshole.
That's what's keeping you up at night? Somebody's bullying you for restarting once you're 5 seconds behind? That's funny.
I don't like Baron. He seems—
You should probably just play it through, though. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what could happen towards the end of that. You might learn something, you know?
He's a terrible person.
Over this? He didn't do anything. I said a speedrunner beat Matt in a category, so he banned him from his Twitch chat and cries on Reddit about how his life is worse. I have known for quite some time that other people were doing runs off this category. People that could run from dawn till dusk. People that had no reason to be entertaining, had fewer obligations, fewer distractions. Sharing information with these people is almost entirely one-sided, or at least—
I'm sorry, is he complaining because he has to do other content creation work in between his speedruns? What? You're a content creator. Shut the fuck up.
Everything I developed for the run was public knowledge. But the inverse was not true. The result was that anyone running alongside me was getting far more information. What sort of response did you expect from me? A hug? Your success does me no favors. On the contrary, it makes my life considerably worse, with the added fun that I will have to field questions about this.
Humanity, society—
Dude, he just complains about everything. Like, what? Wait, so there he's just complaining about other speedrunners with more time in the day to be able to speedrun, beating his speedruns? And he creates a victim complex. He's a victim there. He's just always he's a perpetual victim. He always wants to have a reason to complain about something. What a loser.
Society is a give and take relationship, and I've experienced a massive take with no give.
Okay.
And people seem to be confused as to why I'm not a fan of this. When I say he has made my life worse,
dude, this guy's actually like unironically pathetic. Like his whole life is just him falling upwards. He's just succeeding despite the fact that he is such an unlikable little weenie. And he still complains about having like one of the easiest like given lives ever. When have you ever struggled in your life? Like, you know why I like being lazy and doing lazy React content? Because I used to work hard and it sucked. That's it. I love this. I get up really whenever I want, although my wife will yell at me if I wake up too late. And I come downstairs and I do offline editing work, which is usually like double the amount of time I stream. So if I stream 3 hours a day, I'm probably doing 6 hours of work. Okay, it's really not that bad. It's like, even if I'm doing like 30 to 40 hours a week of work, I mean, it's easier than what I used to do. I make pretty decent money, and what do? I sit on a computer and I'm either talking about, doing commentary over someone's video, or I'm editing down some of the commentary I've done over somebody's video. This is a great job. I see my hardest thing is how much my ass hurts. I used to be cold in the winter, hot in the summer, have my benefits taken away from me. I had to worry about where my next dollar was coming from. I mean, I'm just doing so much better off than I ever have been doing. So I'm like, you know, I'm grateful. But this guy, he fucking does speed runnings and like low effort, like reaction, like he does reaction content too. Like he just gives his commentary. I've seen all of it. It's very low effort work too. And he still complains to a disproportionate degree. He doesn't just go like, oh, this is like annoying. He turns himself into a victim and acts like he was fucking violently raped when somebody plays 14 pages to him. It's just pathetic.
Immeasurably so. I was the only person who could have benefited significantly from doing this first. But not only that, failing to do this will now impact the rest of my career.
Matt thinks the missing context that will vindicate him is that Unnamed hadn't speedrun a category before beating him.
Again, it's amazing. He said so few words, but every single word is wrong. He knows nothing about me, or my career, or the people involved.
Everybody knows everything about you. Your entire life is online. You have no offline work, so.
Single most crucial detail of that drama from 4 years ago, yes, this is again another 4-year-old drama, is that Unnamed wasn't a speedrunner, and it certainly had nothing to do with him or anyone else being better than me at speedrunning. I had not been competitive in speedrunning 4 years. By May 2021, when Unnamed beat No Damage in GTA 5 before me, I shit you not, I was not even in the top 10 for any main speedrunning category of GTA 5. But again, even in this group of speedrunners—
How the fuck do you use speedrun? Oh, I guess there's a story mode. Okay.
That was better than me, Unnamed wasn't in that group because he wasn't a speedrunner. Like when literally every detail given by Willy about a drama is incorrect, do I really need to spend the time to explain what that drama was about?
Then why do you do that?
Like arguing that the category they were competing in wasn't technically a speedrun, therefore my argument is invalid. It's semantics. He says Unnamed forgave him, so it's fine.
When did we squash the beef? Or there wasn't really any beef? I mean, because you've always been chill and I've just
I think after you completed one hit KO yourself, I just like DM'd you, yo, congrats, but can you unban me?
I think I said it multiple times. You were a very stoic dude. Your only interest seemed to be that you didn't want to be banned.
This says more about Unnamed's character than yours. This guy can't even play a game of Among Us without making it about himself.
This man like runs around the entire map to come to O2. And I'm like, I had nothing to say. I was literally speechless. I did not speak the entire time because I was so confused why we were staying in the game. I have never been this mad at a person the entirety of my life.
I apologize. I'm still a little new at the game.
If you don't even know how to win the game, why are you playing?
I do. I'm just sorry.
After yelling at him.
That's the most angry you've been in your entire life? Seems my theory is correct that he has no life. That's fucking pathetic.
Viper would then write, Scott will not be unbanned. It was not simply that I was having a bad day. I was close to tears at the beginning of the stream. I felt impressively down, perhaps due to a lack of caffeine as I was kicking soft drink. I came to the one thing I love at the moment, Among Us. To have it ruined by a guy who didn't just play badly. He literally didn't play. He'd then make a follow-up video.
That is so, you're so dude, that's so pathetic, dude. Really? Your entire life revolved around Among Us at that point? What the hell is the matter with you? Does he really think that this makes him look good? He looks like a pathetic fucking weenie baby.
You're saying that he has no friends.
A lot of my life, I've wanted to play board games. Board games always look so enjoyable, but I had no friends to play them with. And the friends that I did have made it even worse, that they would play board games and not invite me.
I wanted to say the same thing. I wonder why. Why do you think they wouldn't invite you?
Wonder why.
It takes something like half an hour to fill the lobby. Like, you guys may think I'm super famous and popular and shit, but there's not a heap of people who want to play with me. As a matter of fact, I once more asked a Discord full of other streamers if they wanted to play with me, and I got no responses. Again, I think it's maybe the third or fourth time I've tried. I've left that server now, because it just brought back all the memories of my fucking friends not inviting me to play games. It just brought up those feelings. I don't like those feelings. I have people I'm playing with who are experienced with the game because that's what I requested, and so I kill a guy and the game doesn't end.
This is just such an interesting moment, because like, don't you think that like this is a really good, this would be a really good learning experience for you if you are constantly having instances where people that are supposedly your friends don't want to be around you. Have you ever thought maybe it's your fault? You ever thought that maybe you're just insufferable and difficult to be around, and maybe you need to change some of the ways that you act? Maybe you need to stop acting so entitled, which is the problem with DarkViperAU. No, of course not. The whole entire world is the problem, not him. This is literally like mommy gives me everything energy. Like, this is what I'm saying. He has mommy give me everything energy. Because there's no way, if I was constantly being treated poorly by people like this, where they didn't want to be around me, I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why don't people want to be around me? Like, why are you not thinking that? What is wrong with you?
So like, the game's not ending. The game is not ending. Why is the game not ending?
It's so funny, because the only people that would ever give DarkViper a chance at this point are React like streamers. Like, that's literally it. Those are the only people that'll be like, yeah, you know what, we could hang out and play Among Us. Because everybody thinks he's so fucking annoying.
I'm not a person who is lost for words very often, but my body from the person I killed was found, and they accused me of the kill, and I literally didn't speak. I was so just the weight of still being in the game was still washing over me. I was just having that bad of a day, and I'm like, is this it? Is this me one day doing something for myself, and this is the situation I find myself in?
This is such an interesting interpretation because we've all been there where we had crash outs over things that were stupid, and you know, like I've gotten angry at stuff that was like dumb, and if I told you about it, you'd be like, oh yeah, you're being stupid. I would tell you like, yeah, I got upset over this because I was having a bad day and I was just being stupid. But you realize that like what I'm saying is like, yeah, it was unjustifiable. I was just having a bad day. This guy's bad day is justifiable to him in a way that makes his shitty behavior okay. Like that's the biggest difference between DarkViper and everybody else. Is because he was having a bad day, it's just like the way he's acting is justifiable. That's not normal, man. Like you're supposed to go like, you know what? I was having a bad day and I was acting like a fucking asshole. Like, oh yeah, I get it. But no, it's justifiable to feel the way that he feels in his fucking brain. Because he's got mommy give me everything energy. That's literally it. Thank you for the $5 from Z King. You know he would cry if his mom forgot to cut the crust off his sandwich. It's true. So true.
Game plays out for another 10 minutes, and he's sitting there just going, I can't believe we're still in this game. And we end up losing. And I go off at this guy. I was just so fucking pissed that my one chance to save my day, to make myself feel good, is ruined by this guy who joined a game that he clearly should not have been in because he mustn't be experienced at the game, which was the very thing that I requested. And so I timed him out. And then I realized, like, I don't want to see this person ever again. I don't want to remember this bad day. I want to move on with my life, smooth sailing, so I banned this person. They were in a gate lobby they should not have been in, explicitly, and made no mention of their inexperience of the game, clearly deserving of a ban. This day...
Why is that deserving of a ban?
...sucks. It is the culmination of every negative thing in my life, and reinforces in me that I can't have a day to myself. I don't deserve shit. I will get back to editing, people!
He blames this on his Hashimoto's disease.
So something like a month prior, I had been diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. My particular condition is called hypothyroidism.
What does that mean?
Puffy face, hoarse voice, muscle aches, tenderness, and stiffness.
Nobody cares. He's like, Scott, forgive me so I can't be goofy.
What does that to do with that? Guys, my high blood pressure and my high cholesterol and my thick blood and my this. Oh, that's why. Listen, I can be empathetic to people and their fucking problems, but to what degree do I get to where I stop caring? Like, oh yeah, you have something that's rough. We all have something. I don't fucking care. Stop whinging.
Not anymore.
Scott, of course, forgave me immediately because it was really obvious that I wasn't doing well, and so he didn't take it personally. This
is the problem, though. This is like one of the people that has an issue, and they're happy to have it. They're like, yes, thank God I have something to make an excuse about it. My Hashimoto's disease. Like, okay, dude, I get that. I get Hashimoto sauce from fucking Costco. Like, I don't care about your problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking good, man.
Now, 4 years later, Scott still comes round to the stream.
That says more about Scott's character than yours. I talk about how he stopped being friends with Carl Jobs because Carl took a sponsorship from Asmon's PC company. And since Asmon makes React content, Carl essentially took blood money. Carl says, yes, this is the reason. I find it to be unhealthy and not a good thing. Carl would delete this tweet and apologize for leaking the email.
Willie, of course, being dishonest, doesn't say that what he's showing on screen is a deleted tweet that Carl deleted for publicly apologizing for bringing out disagreement public.
But that doesn't change that it happened. The email is insane. Carl, I don't have people close to me by choice. Friendship requires trust, and I don't give that out unless out of necessity. I've spent most of my life being kicked by those I've given even a measure of trust to. Regardless of whether you personally felt it meaningful, you broke a small measure of trust.
You think that Carl Jobs is like, whew, dodge that bullet? maybe he took the sponsorship just so that he could get away from this guy. But honestly, like, okay, you don't like this thing. Before I forgot, he thinks React content is basically rape, but you should be happy for your friend for making that bag, dude. He caught a bag. Good for him. Like, what the fuck?
Trust I gave you. A currency more rare than anything on this earth. I am under no obligation to associate with you anymore. Matt's response to me pointing out how ridiculous this is to say Willie says friends. I only broke up with one friend due to React content. He ended relationships with friends over this.
It is a skill that Willie can say so few words, but say so many false things at the same time. For a start, I don't know if Willie thinks Carl is multiple people, but what do you mean by friends? Like, even when he wants to slam dunk own me, he can't help but lie.
I'm talking to a...
Well, you know, one thing Willie Mac should have added is it's not just about React content. It's literally about everything. If these people don't treat him like his mom treats him after he fucking shits his pants and she cleans it up for him, then he's not friends with them. That's the energy he expects with people.
Grammar Nazi, man. His defense boils down to Carl forgave him.
The predictable ended up happening. We went to PAX and we're like, hey, sorry about all that. We're good, right? And it's like, yeah, that's cool.
That says more.
So you saw somebody in the real world and you were like, hey, this doesn't really matter as much as I thought. Wow, maybe you should go outside more.
Or about Carl.
Incredible. Like, what a great thing.
Than it does about you. You send an unhinged email and Carl apologizes. That's insane. You broke up with him for taking a sponsorship while he was getting sued. You can't have nice things when you're friends with Matt. It just seems like people keep having to forgive you. Does the context in these clips change anything? Does it make him look better or does it make him look more unhinged? He gets on me for calling his essay a manifesto.
It wasn't a manifesto. It didn't even contain...
It was a woman manifesto.
Because he's a fucking girl. Got him.
all my arguments or ideas about reaction content. It's called How the React Grift Works. It was in no way, shape, or form focused on morality.
All of your videos and your essays are about why React
What are you talking about? It's like a pure morality. You make the argument that it's like fucking sexual assault. It's pure morality. What?
content is morally wrong. I don't know how anyone could come away with another conclusion. And he still has this eternal victim mindset, even through our beef. I could send a clip of him saying he would sue me for defamation if he thought he wouldn't get pushback.
Have you considered defamation laws exist for a reason? It might not be a good look, but the reason these channels keep doing it is because no one is willing to take them to court over it. I could sue these guys for defamation because
What?
spend all the money to
Well, you would lose that, so.
no way make back the money that I would spend so much of my time that I normally spend on making content and get a ruling that would certainly be in my favor because
Oh, he's talking about a defamation lawsuit there. Okay, oh, whatever. Still, you're a pee head.
they lied. Like so many times did they obviously lie.
Lied.
But I'm gonna look bad the entire time. It's gonna inspire those not being sued to lie even more to make money, and I'm not gonna get anything out of it. I'm just gonna look worse, even if I'm doing the right thing. Doesn't defamation require proof you suffer financial or mental harm as a result of the defamation? When I was talking to that lawyer, I did say that would be one of the harder things to do, because in abstract, obviously there's gonna be both. But pointing to a line going down would be a lot harder.
So I followed him on
Well, doesn't that kind of hurt your argument?
my already existing Blue Sky account. Well, now I'm a stalker.
I woke up this morning and found out that he has joined Blue Sky, and you would expect that he would follow his friends, family, and content that he enjoys. But no, that's not what Willie does, because Willie is a psychotic stalker. So the first thing he does is follows me. Again, it's not that he follows
A psychotic stalker. Wild work, brother.
friends, family, content that he enjoys.
I followed other people first. It's right there.
He's like, oh, I can stalk that DarkViperAU guy, that guy who blocked me. This is insane behavior. This is psychotic. This is not normal. I have been in this business now for 12 years. I've been in the commentary community to some degree for all that time. I've had feuds with dozens of people, arguments back and forth with videos. I've never seen anyone as deranged as Willie Mac Show is.
Willie Mac deranged? That's an interesting take, man. That's kind of tough. He's just a normal fucking dude.
It's just not with people I've interacted with. Other people watching their feuds as well. I've never seen anyone act as Willie Mac Show has.
You've never seen someone follow you on social media? He acts like I followed his mom on Facebook or showed up to his house. How is he always the victim?
I've never seen anyone act as Willie Mac Show has. Lying 4 months, spamming tweets 4 months, stalking on other platforms, making old accounts on platforms to stalk further. I'm not following him. I don't care what he says. I only find out about things he says when people DM them specifically to me.
Same dude. I don't have alt accounts that follow him. He's just making that up. Even in these tweets, he shows us talking trash back and forth. He has me blocked and he would respond to my tweets talking shit, but I couldn't respond back or even see it. We have both been antagonizing each other. It truly is the world's dorkiest beef. Two guys fighting over React content. No one's in danger. Matt, I don't hate you. I just think you're cringe and dramatic and you aren't beating those allegations.
I kind of hate you. I think you're weak and you're pathetic and you're a loser. The fact, I mean, again, like this is the guy in his manifesto, 14 pages. Again, likened React content to sexual assault. Like, I actually genuinely dislike you for that. That's pathetic. Like, that's just a slap in the face of people who've actually had some kind of trauma. So you're a loser. I don't like you. You're a bad person, and you're very out of touch, and you're weak, and you're not really beneficial to society. You have no thought, feeling, or perspective that has any positive impact on anybody. You're cringe, and you're a big smelly poopy wiener. So I like that.
Anytime soon. Plays a clip of Chud talking about Viper's hypocrisy when viewing Sniper Wolf's content versus Asmon Gold's, and he frames this as Chud isn't adding anything. He's just acting confused.
I'm sure there are people out there who think watching a video for the first time being like, I don't understand. Chat, help. I gotta pause this video. Chat. What's he talking about here? I don't understand. I've done literally no research into this video. Like, I've never seen it before. But
I find it so interesting that it's like when you look at this, if you look at DarkViperAU's content, he's a bigger content creator than really anybody else that's talking about any of these topics. Like, let me go look him up really quick. DarkViperAU. For the most part, he's bigger than like everybody. Like, he has almost 2 million followers. Like, he's a large content, and he's, I think from what I see, he gets good views. Oh, this is maybe this video didn't do very well. Well, they don't seem to like it when he whinges about Willie Mac. But his videos generally do decently. Let's say an average of 100K a video, right? Like, that's pretty good.
hello and welcome. More of this item. What?
Yeah, anyway. Yet he gives people, and he puts out daily content because, it's like generally low effort stuff. Good for him. This one has almost 300K views. So he gets good views. And yet he's responding to people that are so significantly small. Like, what does Chud Logic have? Like 40 or 50K followers? What do I have? 50? Oh, he doesn't respond to me. What does Willie Mac have? I think 200 or 300K. Like, he constantly gives people content by constantly whinging, and he has multiple channels. So, I mean, like, why are you giving these like nobodies? And I'm a nobody. I'm just being clear. I'm not. This isn't like a disrespectful thing. Why are you giving nobodies so much attention? It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, what are you doing? You could just not be talking about these things, and people wouldn't have anything to say because you're not giving them content to talk about. But that's all you do.
But like, what's going on here, Chad? Like, I'm sure some people think that's valuable stuff because it's adding to the runtime.
That clip is valuable because he's showing how your argument isn't making sense. He's literally adding value to the video.
Like, if you remember, Sniper Wolf wasn't mentioned in my first essay, and I had no intention of mentioning her in it. And even Charlie said, why is Sniper Wolf not mentioned here? And I said explicitly, it's because technically what she makes is after the fact. And I said, maybe I will make a video on Sniper Wolf.
What does that mean, after the fact? Whoa.
Wait, what? What does that mean? Sniper Wolf is taking people's TikToks, collecting them together, barely reacting to it, and making that her own content.
Yeah, personally, I don't give a fuck with that. Whoa, I just got smashed in the balls. I don't care about Sniper Wolf's content. I don't give a shit. Like, I literally just don't care. But, I mean, if you're going to care about content like the kind of content that I make, you have to acknowledge, you have to say that Sniper Wolf's content is significantly worse. It is zero transfer. She doesn't say anything. And like, I don't care because it's basically just a TikTok compilation video with her annoying fucking face in it. I don't really care. It's not worth anything to me. But like, it's basically just like a compilation where she goes, whoa, a poo-poo fart wiener. Like, that's all Sniper Wolf does. She doesn't say anything of value. Anybody could do what she does, but because she's a halfway attractive woman on the internet, that's very attainable looking because she's also kind of ugly, that people are like fucking shit and cum themselves. Sniper Wolf is the type of person that you, whoa. Well, that explodes. Sniper Wolf is the type of person that you watch when you don't want somebody to react. It's a compilation video with a person there so that it gets to be more than just a compilation video. There's nothing there. Like, if she talked too much, people would turn it off. That's the entire thing. She wouldn't have anybody watching her. And you don't have any, like, you wouldn't put her in the original criticism. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. She's like worse than anybody else. What are you talking about?
Because it's not
like, I don't get it.
Live reaction. What difference does that make? Why does that make a difference?
There is no difference. It's a legitimate example of how critical react content is real content that stands on its own. I would tell you to watch the video and come to your own conclusion, but Viper struck it down. Matt has this conspiracy where he thinks the only reason I made a video on him is because I'm friends with Chud. I can't possibly have my own opinions on react content or what qualifies as fair use. Important.
I mean, like, maybe he's friends with Chud because they have similar takes on things. I don't know. Well, this is the problem, is he doesn't know what a friend is, so he wouldn't get that. He wouldn't really understand that argument.
To remember why Willie was making this video in the first place. He wanted to defend his fellow drama associate, Chud Logic. So Willie Maxrow is one of these cartoonish grifters who is friends with Chud Logic. In fact, as I found out recently, he is in a group of drama YouTubers that all work together to like collaborate and push the same message and attack the same people. Of course.
Don't you wish that you had friends like that though? Like, that would be so cool for you if you had friends that would like actually want to be around you and do that. Like, he's friends with other commentary YouTubers because he's a commentary YouTuber and he's just found like friends, but you can't even become friends with other GTA YouTubers because nobody likes you because you're so fucking annoying. Like, don't you feel like a little embarrassed about that?
Willie Maxrow doesn't disclose.
Like, he doesn't even have a fundamental understanding of how friends works. Isn't that pathetic?
This association, even when he talks about the situation between me and Chud Logic, because Willie is a liar.
When I started making that video back in March, I don't think I've ever talked to Chud Logic before. Yes, we were in a group chat, but there was like 15 to 20 people in there. I haven't been a part of it in months. I don't know everybody who's in it, and I'm certainly not friends with all of them. It's the ultimate conspiracy people clutch onto when they get called out.
Damn, he's saying he's not friends with Chud Logic. Drama.
I feel like I'm watching Alex Jones. Speaking of wild allegations, Viper would accuse Chud and his community of getting him doxxed on a forum. His proof is Chud talking smack after Viper tried to strike his video.
Well, maybe somebody will come to your house and play video games with you. Maybe you can have friends now, man. That'd be pretty cool for you.
If you strike someone, even if it's 100% justifiable, legally and ethically, there'll be the Willie Maxrows going, this guy trying to turn off my free faucet of content? How dare they?
Well, you're letting the faucet flow, brother, so it's kind of on you at that point.
Dig up anything from any...
If you're so aware that you constantly talking about this is a content faucet for other people, then stop talking about it. What
point in this person's history that I can make a video on? I will take this person down.
I will find any possible clip of them looking terrible, mock it and laugh at it. That is now the fucking plan. This could be one of the most pathetic specimens I've ever come across. This is brilliant. Anyway, Jesus Christ, man. I'm going to spend my whole stream hating on DarkViper. And what we're going to...
Kind of a base stream.
...do is we're going to spend the next 3 weeks digging up every single embarrassing thing that DarkViper has ever done publicly. And making content out of it. Okay. No, I'm not really going to do that, okay?
In the same way...
That would have been kind of funny. An unhinged kind of funny, but...
That even though Chud was entirely legally and ethically in the wrong, and he knew that, Chud still made these demands of his viewers that made a thread about me, and doxed me.
Wait, what demand did he make? Oh, is he saying that was a call to action? Oh, I think that was just him being silly because you're an annoying fuck.
To thousands of people.
Any proof of that, Sherlock? Chud's video came out November 15th, 2023. Viper's Kiwi Farms thread didn't come out till March 23rd, 2024. Over 4 months later. You're prescribing a doxing allegation to his community based on nothing. It's crazy. He tries to frame me as a clout-hungry fallen fan who was trying to buddy up with him.
Willie is a person who is a clout chaser in the traditional sense of the word, where it's not just an insult, he actually just follows people that have a lot of viewership and tries to buddy up to them in order to get views. And so,
like who? What?
The reason he followed me on Twitter and engaged with my stuff so much was in an attempt to get views from me. When he found out that he couldn't get views from me because
You think that he was trying to buddy up to be friends with you? That's so sad that you think anybody would want to be your friend. You are so fucking annoying. Holy shit.
Didn't respect him.
I'd rather slit my fucking wrists and knock on your door in the coldest day of ever. I mean, this is fucking crazy.
As was in this video, he seemed to conclude, at least that's the only explanation I can think of that explains why.
That's obviously an exaggeration. I would never do that. Okay, I would just knock on the door. When he opened it, I'd hit him and then I would break into his house. Okay, so relax. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
This video, that he could just lie about me.
This is based on me replying to 12 of his tweets over the course of 2 years.
Like, I talk to very few people. I trust so few people. To have me reach out to talk to you for any reason is a very, very strange thing.
I don't care. I don't feel honored by your DMs. Your ego is massive.
Willie Mac didn't know much about me. I thought he knew at least something. Because for the previous, year and a half, 2 years, he had liked 50 of my tweets, had responded to a dozen of them. Of all the creators that I knew at the time, he had engaged with my Twitter the most, in a positive way.
And I took that personally. That's 6 tweets a year, man. One of them is you tweeting out my video, calling it the video of the year. The others were general pop culture stuff. It's so parasocial of him to think we had this relationship.
As it turns out, Willie is a
well, I mean, that's a friend to him, man. Like, he's got no friends. Of course he would think something like that was like a friendship thing.
Person who is a clout chaser in the traditional sense of the word, where it's not just an insult, he actually just follows people that have a lot of viewership and tries to buddy up to them in order to get views.
Yeah, that's why I sided with Chud Logic for clout. What's funny is I remember him actually tweeting out a bunch of...
That's a little bit of a backhanded compliment. Well, that's actually not at all what it was, but that was silly. Yeah, I mean, if he was trying to chase clout, he wouldn't be friendly with me either. Let's be real. What do I have on this channel? Like fucking 50,000 subscribers.
My videos.
What do we have? How much have we gained this year by reacting and raping other people's content? I didn't like that I said that actually. Sorry, it was a little inappropriate. My bad. But how many followers should we get this year?
Complimenting them, but when I went back on Twitter, I found that he deleted all of his tweets before December of last year, meaning he screenshotted these for this video and then deleted everything so I couldn't go back and check. Wow, such an honest guy.
If I see you waving, my hand goes in the air, even though you're waving to that guy over there.
It's obvious at this
Whoa, what a silly song. I like that.
point that Viper doesn't know how to navigate a social situation. He really has that Reddit mind.
Wow, we've gotten 26,000 followers. 26.6 thousand followers this year. Wow. That's like double the amount of followers that I have. That's pretty cool. That's pretty badass, guys. Oh, there's a day where I got negative 16 followers. What the hell did I do? You know what? I don't even care. It's the beginning of the year. Probably I never do anything wrong, so it's nothing to do with that. God bless me, dude. God bless me, bro. That's fucking amazing. Good for me. Good for me, dude. This is so good for me.
Mod mindset. He's confused why Chud would be roasting him for putting a strike on his channel.
Here's just a small selection of how Chud acted reasonably when his video got taken down, entirely justifiably.
And pay his good money to get this fucking retarded bitch.
Whoa!
Takedown request, okay? Idiots. Total idiots. Total fucking clown show over at that fucking lawyer place. That this lawyer would say this. It has to be that DarkViper's been like, can you just please make sure that Chud doesn't get this because it'll just make more content about me. Correct! Here
What the hell is this? Oh, I don't like that, but...
I am, DarkViper! Let's go! I'm here, baby. I'm here making more content about you, little wretch. The last thing you wanted to happen.
You had your lawyer ask not to let Chud know about your correspondence with YouTube. You struck his channel attacking his livelihood over a 1,000-view video. Of course he's going to roast you for this. How are you surprised? Sometimes Chud's just joking and Viper's using it unironically.
And if you saw the footage I put in there of Chud Logic, the man's an unhinged maniac.
Yes! I am a fucking unhinged maniac! That's right, motherfucker!
Okay.
I'm a fucking unhinged maniac! You've got me exactly right. That is what I am. I'm totally fucking unhinged, okay?
I don't know, man. It seems more unhinged to have a meltdown over in a game of Among Us and double down on it after the fact, after you cool off. Like that seems a little more unhinged, huh?
I'm a total maniac! Ah!
Or he thinks it's hypocritical that I don't care that Tom told someone to kill themselves on Twitter.
Hey, don't say that, dude.
Nicholas, the Drio, Turkey, Tom.
Whoa, did he just say the N-word? Cancel this guy.
All these people have endless actual controversies that are true, that any of the things that Willie accuses me of in his video, if he actually cared about them, if he actually thought these were negative things worthy of, telling the world or getting up in arms about, he wouldn't associate with
telling the world. That's insinuating that anybody gives a fuck about any of this stuff that's going on, man. The world does not care.
Any of these people. Kendrick versus Drake for unemployed people. This washed up liberal YouTuber, Turkey Tom, just spent 7 minutes dick riding my account because he wants to be relevant again. I've never even heard of him until today. You are a tard who reposts out of context clips all day begging for attention, and then you cry when people shit on you for it. Find a rope. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten...
Okay.
So butthurt on Twitter that I've told someone to kill themselves. Honestly, I don't think that's ever happened in my entire life.
If you did the same thing, it wouldn't bother me at all. He says Chud put the word rape in his thumbnail. That means I can't point out how his rape analogy with React content is silly.
As I'm trying to establish, Willie is never here for the nuance. He doesn't care what was actually written or why it is right or wrong. He is just looking for anything he can, regardless of how much out of context or how to distort his presentation, that can fit the narrative he is trying to craft. With that all being said, it's important to remember why Willie was making this video in the first place. He wanted to defend his fellow drama associate, Chud Logic. In Chud's re-upload of my video, in the thumbnail, it says explicitly, raped by Jack.
You were trying to make a point which Carl has already explained to you why it was stupid.
Well, the problem with the analogy is the mindset is completely different. So someone can actually believe that what they're doing is fair use. And, you know, the fair use is only something that a court can decide. No one can spike a drink thinking that what they're doing is legal. Okay, so the mindset is completely different.
Wow, I can't believe that somebody has to educate him on this point of like why you shouldn't be comparing React content to sexual assaults. Like, it's incredible.
Therefore, they don't think they need consent, and therefore they're not coming from, they might not be an immoral person.
Well, in his defense, he's never talked to a woman in his life except for his mom, so I don't think he would understand the concept of consent.
Whatsoever. Exactly. And they might not have any bad intentions whatsoever, and can still be re-uploading content in a way that they believe is fair use. Someone who spikes a drink is always going to be immoral.
As I've tried to make the case, statements that reactors make, like, oh, I'll take down the video if you tell me you want it to be taken down, or I'll pay money if people reach out to me, showcase that they know what they're doing is wrong to some degree.
Nobody knows if what they're doing is wrong because there is no data or court decision on this kind of content.
It doesn't even matter if there is. Like, what you're doing if you're doing React content isn't wrong. It's part of the YouTube atmosphere. YouTube allows it to happen. Like, they are okay with it happening. People enjoy engaging with it. We like to pretend that, like, we're all, what do we all pretend? We're all just like fucking, you know, subverting YouTube. Like, they don't know. They know what it's happening. They don't care. They're okay with it. They make money. Like, it's okay. It's part of the atmosphere. One could argue that, like, the law doesn't even necessarily matter when it comes to YouTube React content, because YouTube has made, in my opinion, a pretty firm perspective that, like, this is an acceptable thing on their platform. I mean, TikTok has literally duets and duet reacts to things. They're making a stern thing to say, like, hey, you can literally just put your stupid fucking face without saying anything next to the video, and that's an okay thing to do. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's just like that's kind of just the atmosphere that YouTube's kind of generated. And they're like, yeah, this is kind of cool.
Just being amicable, but Matt is incapable of understanding that because he is socially inept. He thinks I'm a hypocrite because I called Destiny a retard in a past drama and then went on his podcast years later.
Willie does not believe many of the things in which he says, nor does he actually care about anything that he says.
Me, when I change my opinion? Oop.
There's so much that I could show to establish this, but I won't spend too much time on it, but I would like to touch on a few things. For example, his statements about Destiny a few years ago.
Why are you comparing a live stream to a YouTube video?
Because copyright law doesn't change just because you live stream it. I think Destiny might just be kind of a retard.
Hey, don't be saying that, guys.
Actual retard.
A literal retard.
We did a debate about the videos I made on him. And I opened, hey, did you watch any of the videos? And he goes, no.
You might think the reason why I bring this up is because it suggests that Willie is a person who will just flip-flop on anyone whenever convenient if he thinks he can get some views out of it. Or that perhaps Willie will make very confident statements about people that he...
I don't know, it's kind of like the nature of commentary to disagree with people. So, you know, that's just it. That's just the nature of the commentary, like I said. So maybe it's just the nature of commentary to, like, sometimes disagree with people, even if you may like them. Or maybe he changes his perspective. It's not that big of a deal. Like, just because you like somebody doesn't mean you have to love everything about them. Like, I think Destiny's a very smart guy, but, like, there's obviously things I dislike about him. Like, I think he's immature. I say that all the time. You know, like, you're allowed to do stuff like that. It's okay. We'll survive.
Barely even knows just because he thinks it will get views. Or maybe, depending upon your perspective, that Willie will say...
I can't believe he wakes up in the morning and, like, intentionally does that to his hair and thinks that it looks stylish. What the fuck is that, dude?
Very confidently things that are entirely untrue, and then realize years later, like, oh, I just talked out my ass. You know, that wasn't actually true. Or maybe that Willie does absolutely no research on people and just says whatever the fuck he feels like, regardless of how true, because he knows it will get clicks and views.
Does he give any examples of how? Nope.
My point is to say that Destiny has been around for so long that every false claim Willie makes about me is actually true about Destiny. He has actually done every single possible negative misstep that a person can have in a content creator career.
Like what? What is he talking about?
Was you striking a critical reaction of you? It was a trending story. Where did Destiny do that? If you have such a great video planned on Destiny, then go make it. I could tell there's times where Matt's almost having fun during this drama. He's trying to riff on Nick, but he's never had friends to do this with, so he's struggling.
Nicholas,
whoa, dude, you can't say that word. The fuck's the matter with you, dude?
Oreo, as is a...
What Diorio? Holy fuck.
So, there's a guy named Nicholas Didria, which is Willie's other friend.
Didria? Are you trying to call him like a Pokemon? What's happening right now?
And he looks like a circle.
Yeah, call him fat, Matt.
He's getting there. You look. I've never heard somebody say that someone looks like a circle when they're trying to call him fat. But yeah, certainly, I suppose.
He is perfectly circular in a way that I've never seen a person before.
Oh, dude.
Oh, it looks like that guy from Harry Potter. Fuck. I'm thinking of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is what I actually wanted to say. Just to be clear, Harry Potter's a little bit off. Sorry.
So good.
And like, I don't like to mock a person's physical appearance. It's not
Well, you probably shouldn't, because there's a lot more to mock about you.
usually my wheelhouse.
Oh, he looks like the pinball he likes to play. Like, what? Give him more.
I can't help but laugh whenever anyone calls him Nicholas the Oreo because he looks like an Oreo.
Oh, well, Oreos aren't like perfectly round though, right? Like, I mean, I thought you meant spherical, because not just round. I'm confused now.
Right.
Whoa, Matt, slow down. You're going to burn down the whole house with these roasts.
I heard of a story, like scrolling stuff, where it's like, because I don't like bring up stuff from like 4 years ago, but like 4 years ago, he was on Twitter and he posted a picture of him with a girl to insinuate that he had a girlfriend, and the girl comes.
Way to go, Nick.
She comes? Good for you, Nick. I'm happy for you, bud. Incredible.
The girl comes and like immediately says, haha, we're just friends. And so people widely mocked him because he tried to pretend to actually be in a relationship or whatever.
This was just Nick showing that he was at a bar during COVID, which was a rare thing at the time. But apparently it was widely mocked over this one like tweet, according to Matt.
But like really hangs out with the...
I guess he was... Maybe he posted the tweet. Maybe on his alt account.
Lowest...
Maybe that's why he thinks that Willie has like 20 accounts, because he's projecting that he does.
...of the low, the most laughable, pathetic people on this platform, and then seems to pretend like this isn't the case.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I can't hang out with fat people. My bad. To wrap things up, the reaction content...
True, dude. That is your bad. What the hell?
Dialogue needs more data for me to really care about. I do think Matt being a spaz has made this whole thing a massive pain in the ass for him, but he's also the only reason we're even talking about this stuff, so I want to give him props there. We'll see what he does. Matt is making
Yeah, thanks for the content, man. So you got something to talk about during Christmas times.
another video on me. I will probably respond at some point, so subscribe to the channel and buy a fume. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon. Crimson Glass, Riveter, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Drain Kobex, Necro Valley, Stefan Billman, Abby Blackbird, Eddie Bizzle, Tiz McFitz, Christopher H, TV Anthology Reviews, Kenkelmore, Sennial Music, Lucas If, ET Automatic, Snoopy Poop Doop 2, Amir ML Bear,
and
Deep Pocket Shoe, Rooney Boo, Drew is Sharon, Cloud Factory, Monkey D. Luffy, August, Shura, and the Mega Homies, Reynolds Hughes, Hellison, IGP, Your Taxi, Latchkey Goth Boy, Cyber Katie, Lore Reloaded,
Papa Gut. Got him.